Great. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
Do you see it?
Well, yeah.
Okay,
Thank
great. Sure.
And can people, as these wonderful attendees are coming in, can they say where they're coming from? Can they say hi somewhere here?
Be able to. Why don't you all try it? Hey, attendees, can you chat at us?
Yeah. Brian, Caroline, Gloria.
I can chat at you.
Trish, anybody? Can you chat where you're from?
There we go.
Great. Thank you. Lovely to see you. We've got Linda Nelson and Marcy Skolnick in the room for the Opera House. Marcy is the stage manager extraordinaire for this particular performance tonight. And as you come in, please do say hi in the chat and let us know where you're watching from this evening. We'd love to see that, and we'd love for you to say hi. Thanks for joining us. If you're just coming in, we're super excited to have you here with us tonight for Opera House Art's presentation of R and J and Z by Melody Bates. Welcome, Irene and Stuart from Grants Pass, Oregon. Great to see you here. And as you come into the Zoom room, please do announce yourself in the chat. Tell us your name and where you're coming in from tonight. We're delighted to have you with us for Opera House Art's Zoom reading of R and J and Z by Melody Bates. Really excited that you're here. And thanks for coming into the theater, to the Zoom theater early this evening. We're about 10 minutes away from our start, and just want to make yourselves at home and say hi to everybody. Feel free to chat with us. This is Linda Nelson coming to you from Stonington, Maine, from the Opera House stage. And Marcy Skolnick is our production stage manager this evening, making it all work. Thank you, Marcy.
You're welcome.
Hey, Justin and Ashley from San Diego, Bill and Lanny. Bill, the Opera House Arts Board Chair. Welcome. Yes, and Bill is noting that our students here on the island had a performance today at the ball field. For those of you who may be just joining us and don't know, Opera House Arts did construct a stage and a giant movie screen at the Stonington ball field this summer, where we've been doing drive-in movies and performances. And the high school performed there this evening, today, not this evening, during the daylight. And Bill notes that many talented actors for the future. So glad to hear that, Bill. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Tim. Welcome, Steve. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Say hi to your fellow audience members. We're gonna pretend to all be sitting here in the dark together and not all over the country as we share this wonderful experience tonight of this play reading from the Zoom room.
I'm going to jump in to say welcome Stephanie Cox-Connolly, who is our gore and special effects designer from the 2014 production, the off-Broadway production, and now. Nice to see you.
Welcome, Stephanie. Thanks for all of your work on this. Tim from his living room. We've got Ms. Galella logged in. Katie, Nick, Sandy, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening. Stephanie is noting she's been with this production for several performances. For those of you who may not be aware, this production did originate here in Stonington in 2014, but it did go for a run off Broadway in New York. And Stephanie is a rock star and has been with the production the entire time as the gore designer. So you can imagine the board discussions when we presented a budget with a gore designer in it. Welcoming our attendees from all over the country. Good evening, Larry, welcome. Good evening, Victoria. That's great, Victoria. Thanks for letting us know that at the premiere here in Stonington and also at New York City. Let R and J and Z live. We're about 5 minutes to showtime, everybody. So I hope you're all getting settled nicely in your living rooms, getting your beverages and food and whatever you wish to enjoy tonight's performance with us. We have no rules about being in the house tonight. You may eat and drink and shout and wiggle to your content, your most content, because you are in your own home and we're in our house. Good evening, Ron, welcome. Welcome, Molly. Welcome, Carol Esty, one of the founders of OHA is in the house. Welcome, Judith Jerome, another founder of OHA in the house. Welcome. Steve Edlinger from Brooklyn. Good to see you tonight, Steve. Larry from Portland. Larry being one of the original cast members when it premiered in 2014 here in Stonington. Welcome, Molly. That's great news. Having some of your students join, we'd love that, of course. Welcome, Nina. So good to see everybody here tonight. We really appreciate your joining us for the live version of this. For those of you who are attending this evening, this will be available for 4 days, 96 hours after the performance. So if you need to watch it again, which you may, or share it with other people, we'd love as many people to see it as possible. Good evening, Carl. Good evening, Amy. Carl from Atlanta. It's the power of the Zoom room that we are everywhere here. And lovely to be able to expand the access in this way. We are going to have a discussion with the actors, with all of the artists afterwards. So we hope that you will put your questions in the chat or use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen and let us know your questions. We will bring all those forward in a conversation with the artists at the end of the show, and we do hope you'll stay with us. Good evening, Andy and Cal from Chicago area.
And Kate from Queens is here, who was the original costume designer of this show. She's hiding here too.
Welcome, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
And welcome to Melody's family from Portland. Hi, Eloise, good to see you. From the anarchist jurisdiction of Portland, Oregon. Absolutely. Good on you out there. Here in Portland, in the Portland, Maine environs, we sometimes call Portland, Oregon the other Portland, but all with affection of being our twin city. And we're just a few minutes from starting now as more people come into the room. Thanks again for joining us tonight, everybody. Welcome, Trish from Texas. I do love how people can join us from all over the country, although we miss you all here in Stonington too, when we can gather all together. Welcome to everybody coming into the room tonight. So good to see everybody here. Got Rich and Mary Howe have just logged in. Miranda Hardy, welcome. Welcome, Nina. Welcome, Cherie. Susan Christina, welcome to you. Thank you all. You feel free to say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're logging in from. So happy to have you with us tonight. And we will be taking questions at the end of the show. So please do let us know what those are in the chat as we go or using the Q&A function. We do want your voices in the conversation and we look forward to that conversation at the end of the performance this evening. Welcome, Kristen from New York City. Another anarchist jurisdiction. From the Village in New York City. Hi, Doug. Doug and Gloria Bates. More Oregonians. Welcome, everybody. It's good to see everybody here. Thanks for letting us know where you're from and for saying hi. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Opera House Arts at the Stonington Opera House. I am Linda Nelson, the founding executive director and standing in tonight for the Opera House's Transition Task Force and Board of Directors as we search for a new executive director. Most of you know I've been gone for some time now, but it's a great pleasure to stand in tonight and to make all of this happen for the Opera House. I am coming to you actually live from the stage in Stonington. It wants to be loved. It misses you. We miss seeing you here in the audience greatly and can't wait until we're all back together again. I am coming to you from the ancestral lands of the Wabanaki people and pay our great respects tonight to the Abenakis, the Maliseets, the Mi'kmaqs, the Passamaquoddy, and of course the Penobscots who have summered and lived in this land for so long before the rest of us arrived. This is a pretty important occasion tonight. We are celebrating the publication of R&J&Z. For those of you with us who may not be aware, R&J&Z is one of the original productions that the Opera House has been able to commission and produce during its short 20-year lifetime. And we're very proud of the ability to do new work and present new work here in Stonington, and super proud of Melody and R&J&Z for getting publication. So we have information on the website and on your invitations, and we'll put it in the chat tonight about how you can buy your own copy of R&J&Z. That said, at intermission, if you hang out with us, Judith and I are going to come back on and we're going to raffle off a few signed copies. Melody is signing copies, and we'll give you your own signed copy of R&J&Z that we'll raffle off at intermission this evening. This could not happen without these amazing artists This is their show tonight. The Opera House has done very little other than to host it and to bring us together. This is the power of working with a great group of artists, and we here at the Opera House are really honored to have worked with this group in particular and these artists for so long now, to have developed together the creativity that has made the Opera House a success and also made successful playwrights, successful actors. And thank you for bringing your creativity to us this evening and to our audiences this evening. This is definitely an artist-driven performance, and we're very grateful to be part of that. So without further ado, I think I toss it back to our stage manager and we go. Welcome.
R and J and Z. Act 1. It is late on a Thursday night in mid-July at the end of the 16th century. Romeo Montague is sleeping on the ground in front of the apothecary of Mantua's shop. At first, we're not certain that Romeo is alive. Something is not right about the way his body lies there. Then he stirs. He is dreaming. We watch this. It is unsettling. He could be having a very bad dream or a very good dream. Suddenly, he wakes.
I dreamt my lady came and found me dead. Strange dream that gives a dead man leave to think, and breathes such life with kisses in my lips that I revived and was an emperor. Ah me, how sweet is love itself possessed, when but love's shadows are so rich in joy. News from Verona. How now, Balthazar? Dost thou not bring me letters from the friar? How doth my lady? Is my father well? How fares my Juliet? That I ask again, for nothing can be ill if she be well.
Then she is well, and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell it you. Oh, pardon me for bringing these ill news, since you did leave it for my office, sir.
Said he, and so? Then I defy you, stars. Thou knowest my lodging. Get me ink and paper, and hire post horses all hence tonight.
I do beseech you, sir, have patience. Your looks are pale and wild, and do import some misadventure.
Hush, thou art deceived. Leave me and do the thing I bid thee do. Hast thou no letters to me from the friar?
No, my good lord.
No matter, get thee gone, and hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Well, Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. Let's see for means, oh, mischief, thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. I do remember an apothecary, and hereabouts he dwells, which late I noted, in tattered weeds with o'erwhelming brows, culling of simples meager were his looks, sharp misery had worn him to the bones, and in his needy shop a tortoise hung, an alligator stuffed, and other skins of ill-shaped fishes, and about his shelves a beggarly account of empty boxes, green earthen pots, bladders, musty seeds, remnants of pack thread, and old cakes of roses were thinly scattered to make up a show. Noting this penury, to myself I said, and if a man did need a poison now, whose sale is present death in Mantua, here lives a caitiff wretch would sell it him. Oh, that this same thought did but forerun my need, and the same needy man must sell it me, as I do remember. This should be the house. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho, apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, there's 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear as will disperse itself through all the veins, that the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath as violently as hasty powder fired doth hurry from the fatal cannon's womb.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fearst to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. Need and oppression starveth in thine eyes. Contempt and beggary hangs upon thy back. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it and take this.
My poverty, but not my will, consents.
I pay thy poverty and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off, and if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
There is thy gold, worse poison to men's souls, doing more murders in this loathsome world than these poor compounds thou mayest not sell. I sell thee poison, thou hast sold me none. Farewell, buy food and get thyself in flesh. Cordial and not poison go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
20 miles across the Italian countryside, in Verona, the searchers of the town move stealthily through the nighttime churchyard, cloaked, prodding new graves, scanning the periphery.
There's 3 fresh graves dug up and robbed tonight.
The corpses gone, or just the valuables?
The corpses. Who is taking them? And how have we not seen the thief patrolling here amidst the graves as we do every night?
Perhaps you fell asleep while on your watch.
I never slept, sister. My oath is sacred. Your mood is sour tonight.
Or perhaps you were off deflowering stable hands again? You really ought to let the poor boys be.
My unofficial hours are mine own. Freedom is for using, sister, you know that. Those lucky boys are none the worse for me. You ought to try it. A bit of slackening might do you good.
If slackness were my goal, it would not have loose hay straws in its hair. You aim low, sister. I'd not stoop so low.
Well, as you will. The priest, 2 nights ago, you let him go?
There was no plague. I kept him locked up till tonight. These priests, such busybodies.
Hold. There's a track here as of a body dragged. This is some new mischief. You're certain you saw nothing on your watch?
Nothing. Sister, do you ever long for something more? than what our lives are now.
What, a husband?
No, not less power, more.
There is great honor in the work we do, and danger which takes fortitude to face. Our training makes us strong, our calling keeps us free. For me, that power is enough.
Some nights it is not enough for me.
But there's an older purpose to our order. Ancienter evils we are sworn to watch for. By day we seek out plague, report on it. By night we search for something far more grim. The annals of our sisterhood contain a list of harbingers that presage dire catastrophe, the rising of the dead. And ever vigilant, we stand the watch, that when or if the bloody tide should come, the searchers will defend the world against it.
You are a dreamer, sister. Airy notions of dead come back life for us to fight may well beguile a storytelling hour, but that is all they are. We do our work.
I think the time is near. The signs abound. The opening of graves, the heaps of dead, the creeping sickness in the populace. These omens stand in writing in our books.
The mothy fantasies of moldering texts.
But what of Mantua, 8 months ago? We fought a creature who had surely died.
He was dying of the ordinary plague, and nothing more exotic was at play.
Holy Franciscan Friar, Brother Ho!
Hoods up, sister. We should not be seen. If any apprehend thee, say thou art the night's watch.
Unless the dead should rise tonight, and we are called upon to fight them off, revealing our true purpose to the world.
Friar Lawrence.
Friar John, welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or, if his mind be writ, give me his letter.
The searchers of the town, suspecting that I had been in a house where the infectious pestilence did reign, sealed up the doors and would not let me forth, so that my speed to Mantua was stayed.
Who bear my letter then to Romeo?
I could not send it. Here it is again, nor get a messenger to bring it thee. So fearful were they of infection.
Unhappy fortune. By my brotherhood, this letter was not nice, but full of charge and dear import, that neglecting it may do much danger. Now I must to the monument alone. Within 3 hours will fair Juliet wake, poor living corpse, closed in a dead man's tomb.
Give me thy torch, boy. Ensign, stand aloof. Yet put it out, for I would not be seen. Hold thou thine ear close to the hollow ground, so shall no foot upon the churchyard tread, being loose, unfirm with the digging up of graves, but thou shalt hear it. Whistle then to me, as signal that thou hearest something approach. Give me those flowers, go.
I am almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard, yet I will adventure.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh, woe, thy canopy is dust and stones, with which sweet water nightly I will dew. Boy gives warning, something doth approach.
Give me the mattock and the wrenching iron. Hold, take this letter. Early in the morning, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Give me the light. Upon thy life I charge thee. Whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof. Do not interrupt me in my course. But if thou jealous dost return to pry in what I further shall intend to do, by heaven I will tear thee joint by joint and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs.
I will be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship. Take thou that. Live and be prosperous, and farewell, good fellow.
For all this same, I'll hide me hereabout. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable maw, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth. Thus I enforce thy rotten jaws to open, and in despite I'll cram thee with more food.
Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey and go with me, for thou must die.
I must indeed, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. Fly hence and leave me. Think upon these gone. Let them affright thee, I beseech thee, youth.
I do defy thy conjurations and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy.
Oh, Lord, they fight. I will go call the watch.
The page runs off as Paris slashes viciously at Romeo. Romeo parries and scrambles to the side as Paris attacks again and again. A brutal lunge brings them into a close grapple. Desperate, Romeo sinks his dagger into Paris' chest.
Oh, I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb. Lay me with Juliet.
In faith I will. Let me peruse this face. Mercutio's kinsman, noble County Paris. I'll bury thee in a triumphant grave. A grave. And her beauty makes this vault a feasting presence full of light. Oh, my love, my wife, death that hath sucked the honey of thy breath hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered, beauty's ensign yet is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in thy bloody sheet? What more favor can I do to thee, than with that hand that cut thy youth in twain, to sunder his that was thine enemy? Forgive me, cousin, oh, dear Juliet. Why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous? That the lean, abhorred monster keeps thee here in dark to be his paramour? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here will I remain, with worms that are thy chambermaids. Oh, here will I set up my everlasting rest, and shake the yoke of inauspicious stars, wearied flesh. Eyes look your last, arms take your last embrace, and lips, oh, you, the doors of breath seal with a righteous kiss, a dateless bargain to engrossing death. Come, bitter conduct, come, unsavory guide. Thou desperate pilot, now at once run on the dashing rocks, thy seasick weary bark. Here's to my love. Oh, true apothecary, thy drugs are quick. Thus, with a kiss, I die. Ah!
Who's there?
A friend, and one that knows you well.
Bliss be upon you. Tell me, good my friend, what torch is yond that vainly lends its light to grubs and eyeless skulls, as I discern it burneth in the capel's monument?
It doth so, holy sir, and there's my master, one that you love.
Who is it?
Romeo.
Romeo? Alack, 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 what blood is this which stains the stony entrance of this sepulchre? Romeo, flail, who else? What, Paris too, and steeped in blood? The lady stirs.
Oh, comfortable friar, where is my lord? I do remember well where I should be, and there I am. Where is my Romeo?
Lady, come from that nest of death, contagion, and unnatural sleep. A greater power than we can contradict hath thwarted our intents. Come, come, away! Thy husband in thy bosom there lies dead, and Paris too. Come, go, good Juliet. I dare no longer stay.
Go, get thee hence, for I will not away. What's here? A cup, closed in my true love's hand. Poison, I see, hath been his timeless end. Oh, churl, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after. I will kiss thy lips. Haply yet some poison doth hang upon them to make me die with a restorative.
Juliet kisses Romeo, sucking the last drops of poison from his lips.
Thy lips are warm.
Lead, boy! Which way?
Nay, noise, then I'll be brief. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath. there rust and let me die.
He stabs herself in the heart. She bleeds and gushes all over everything. Stumbling, stabbing, her blood drenches the other bodies. Tybalt, Paris, Romeo, all are covered in her blood. She falls on Romeo's body and dies.
This is the place, there where the torch doth lie.
The ground is bloody. Search about the churchyard. Pitiful sight. Here lies the county slain, and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly dead, who here hath lain these 2 days buried. Go tell the prince. Run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues.
Help! Help!
Here's
Help!
Romeo's man. I found him in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither.
Here is a friar that trembles, sighs, and weeps. I took this mattock and this spade from him as he was coming from this churchyard side.
A great suspicion. Stay the friar too.
What misadventure is so early up that calls our person from our morning's rest?
What should it be that they so shriek abroad?
The people in the street cry Romeo, some Juliet, and some Paris, and all run with open outcry towards our monument.
What fear is this which startles in our ears? What fear is this?
Ah! Sovereign, here lies the County Paris slain, and Romeo dead, and Juliet dead before, warm and new killed.
Here is a friar, and slaughtered Romeo's man, with instruments upon them fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Oh, heavens! Oh, wife, look how our daughter bleeds!
Juliet!
Come, Montague!
My wife is dead tonight. Grief to my son's exile hath stopped her breath. What further woe conspires against mine age?
Look, and thou shalt see.
Oh, thou untaught! What manner is in this, to press before thy father to a grave?
Bring forth the parties of suspicion. Say at once what thou dost know in this.
I will be brief. Romeo, there dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, there dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them, and their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from the city. To rid her from a second marriage, I gave to her a sleeping potion that wrought on her the form of death. Meantime, I writ to Romeo that he should hither come to help take her from her borrowed grave. But he which bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by searchers, and so yesternight returned my letter back.
Where's Romeo's man? What can he say in this?
I brought my master news of Juliet's death, and then in post he came from Mantua. This letter he early bid me give his father.
This letter doth make good the friar's words. Their course of love, the tidings of her death, that he did buy a poison, and therewithal came to this vault to die, and lie with Juliet. Where be these enemies? Capulet, Montague, see what a scourge is laid upon thy hate.
Oh, Brother Montague, give me thy hand.
A glooming peace is this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence to have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned and some punished. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and...
Juliet's body snaps upright. She lunges at Prince Aeschylus, grips him by the shoulders, and bites out his vocal cords. The group of mourners is paralyzed with shock, watching as Juliet savages Aeschylus. He gasps and gurgles. Juliet spins around to face the others.
Mother? Mother! Mother!
Chaos erupts. Juliet stumbles towards her mother, who staggers backwards, tripping on her skirts. Lord Capulet tries to pull his wife out of danger. Friar Lawrence is on high alert. Balthazar stays with him, as does Paris's page. With a nod to each other, the searchers melt into the shadows.
What hast thou done?
Touch her not, lady. A curse is in her blood.
How dare you say that of a Capulet?
Was this the family with whom I thought to make a peace? What worm is in the trunk if thus the branches be so bitten? I'll save the prince's crown, if not the prince.
What, Montague? Think you to make a claim now that the prince and Paris are no more? Give me that crown.
My lady? Lady, no!
Juliet has caught up to her mother and bites her. Romeo sits up.
Juliet! Balthazar! I'm hungry.
You see, old hypocrite? 'Twas your own son that spread infection to my darling daughter.
Your darling daughter has just bitten off your wife's left little finger. It was she who bit my son.
Liar! Reprobate!
You fools! Have you no eyes? Look to the tomb!
Romeo, Paris, and Tybalt are all beginning to rise.
I'll eat you all, you bastards! No one asked if Paris had his own plans for his life.
Paris lurches towards Montague and Capulet, who flee, still fighting over the crown. The searchers leap out of hiding, throwing off their watch cloaks to reveal themselves. 2 women, each carrying a white wand. They are dressed for fighting the undead, leather, buckles, high boots, bristling with weaponry, a comic book nerd's dream.
Halt!
The searchers of the town, the Lord be praised.
You, revenant, eat this.
She takes a running attack at Paris and stabs him through the head. He falls down dead. Friar Lawrence huddles Balthazar and the page out of the way of the searchers. The first searcher approaches Paris and gives him a kick.
Dead?
Of course.
For certain?
And for sure.
What next?
The prince is stirring.
Sounds like fun. Prince Aeschylus, your throat is hanging out.
Aeschylus, his throat mauled by Juliet, is rising. The second searcher pivots lightly towards him and salutes, and then stabs him through the head. Meanwhile, the first searcher takes stock of Tybalt and Romeo. Whereas Romeo seems to have something wrong with his balance, Tybalt is more distracted by things around him. He admires the flowers in his tomb, the velvet of his doublet, the way the gloomy morning light moves along the wall of the crypt, the feel of the cold stone. Reawakened, his artistic, beauty-loving soul, repressed in life, is waking up too.
Finished?
Easy. I never liked him much.
Bit of a ponce, I always thought. What's here?
Slow wakers. We should call the trainees in. You want the Prince of Cats?
Why not? And you?
I'll do for Romeo.
Juliet's head wrenches up from where she's been nibbling at Lady Capulet. She wheels around to see the searchers advancing on Tybalt and Romeo. She launches herself towards them, throwing the second searcher across the crypt, knocking her unconscious, and ferociously shoving the first searcher aside. She crouches over Romeo.
You'll not touch him. I'll tear you joint by joint.
You'll try.
I'll tear you joint by joint. Why should those words ring so familiar in mine ears?
Balthazar, come quick. We must leave now.
But Friar, he said those very words to me. Can he remember? Is he still Romeo?
He's dead, and so are we if we remain. Come, come. We'll parse this later, Balthazar.
Romeo, Tybalt, wake and save yourselves, or help me bite a way out of the tomb.
Breakfast?
Breakfast.
Breakfast?
Putana madre!
All 4 revenants move to attack. The first searcher slings her unconscious partner over her shoulder and escapes. Act 2. Friar Lawrence, Balthazar, and the page burst into the friar's cell.
What happened? Friar, what happened at the tomb?
the dead came back to life, Sir Balthazar. My lord was dead, but then he rose and walked and gaped his jaws wide like a ravening dog and said that he would eat us, eat our flesh.
Calm thyself, boy. The friar will make all clear.
And Juliet, that Paris was to wed, bit out the life of Aeschylus the prince and ate her mother after. Romeo and Tybalt fiended up from certain death where they lay patiently upon their tombs as if they had but slept a good night's sleep. If corpses rise and walk and eat us too, all hope is lost. There's nothing we can do.
Boy, be still. Hysteria is your foe, not corpses, though they rise and walk and eat.
But 'tis the plague. 'Tis come from Mantua, where sorcerers that scorn the laws of heaven work fiendish evil on the people there. They breed diseases.
Friar Lawrence slaps the page.
Silence. I must think. Balthazar, you said that Romeo spoke certain words to you before he died and then returned again therefrom?
He said he'd tear me limb from limb if I should pry into his secret business further.
A less than friendly saying. Said he this with any tremors in the body or the voice?
No, father, but his whole corporeal self bespoke a fierce determination, like one who goes to battle or to death.
No trembling. Well, did he then complain of headache, fever, chills, or other such?
No, friar.
Did he perspire overmuch? Did his whole forehead bead with sweating drops?
We rode hard through the night from Mantua. I fear we both had sweated through our shirts.
And his complexion, was it pale or greenish?
Pale, yes. He was, but then the light was dim. I think not green, though, Father Friar.
Not green. Fine, not green. Was his breathing shallow then? His heartbeat fast?
Why, no. Why ask you this?
Was there a bite or mark you could discern upon his person, anywhere at all?
There were no bites, good sir, that I could see. We came in haste from Mantua, only stopping to write that hasty letter to his father and snatch up a small vial that he'd purchased from an apothecary thereabouts.
Oh, God. An apothecary, you say?
Yes, sir. A wizened, mean old man, a beggar, sir, that scarce could walk, and whistled when he laughed like kettles on the flame.
Oh, apothecary, my old apprentice, now I see your hand in its work, the evil that you've done. My boys, this is no mild passing plague that threatens our sweet town and sweeter souls. I should have known the agent and the cause when Juliet first sat up in the tomb. Your fear is well placed, son. Now quickly come. Take you these books, and Balthazar, that lamp.
Why should I carry books? What's going on?
Boy, we have no time for chit-chat. Pick them up.
Friar, please, you must not hide from us the secrets that you seem to know. Tell us what happened to my friend, and to his love, and to her mother, and to the prince and the count.
There is no time. The pestilence will spread unless we nip it in the bud and cut it off. It may already be too late to stop it. I'll sum it up in brief. This is a scourge created by a man that I once taught. He studied drugs I would not teach him of. The last I knew, he sailed into the west in search of evil plants and deadly spells, but now I fear that he has come back home, and Romeo fallen victim to his wares. The infection spreads through bites and through the blood, I think, though this is speculation. Oh, God.
The filthy hands of a moaning revenant reach through the broken window. Balthazar pulls out a short sword and slices off one of the hands. Now with a blood-curdling scream, the other hand pulls back. Balthazar thinks for a split second and then stabs out the window in the direction of the unseen creature's head. He stabs hard, but the noise stops. With a rough yank, Balthazar pulls his sword back into the room. There is a dripping piece of brain stuck on it.
Good, my lords. I've brained him.
So it would seem. Now, touch it not. A quick sword is a fine weapon, sir, when wall and window frame assist the bearer. Do not fool yourself to think these wights will always be so easy to destroy. It was a good stab, howsoever, well placed.
Thanks, Friar. You think the apothecary of Mantua is the maker of this terror?
I fear he is.
It spreads by bites, you think?
I fear it does, but it begins with drugs, potions, foully mixed, that kill the brain. administered with terrible intent. Shh.
I don't see any more. For now.
I thought him gone forever when he left. But now I see the evil in his nature has triumphed over the good. I'll study this. It will take precious time, but if I can detect in it a poisonous residue, I can find out a way to fight this plague.
I've seen his shop in Mantua. Would he have not have kept a book or records of his potions, some clue to speed us? In 2 hours, I can be there and back again. I'll search his papers, steal what evidence I can.
Balthazar, do it. You'll find us in my laboratory. Ride swift, and may God bless and ride with thee. Now, quickly, gather up these necessaries, and haste we in our several directions. Through the brain pan steams the surest way. And Balthazar?
My lord?
Don't let them bite you.
Moments later, in the Capulet tomb.
Juliet!
Romeo!
I had thought thee dead!
Thou wert dead, good my lord. I saw thy corpse. Thou drankest deadly poison and dropped down upon my tomb.
Thy tomb where thou lay'dst dead. I saw thee, Juliet. Thou wast dead first. I drank the poison that I might join thee.
I was not dead, but only sleeping dead.
Well, sleeping dead looked dead enough to me. Would you told me of your plan to play this ghostly farce before I killed myself, my love, for grief at your dear loss?
You might have had a bit more patience, love, before you so swiftly offed yourself. But 5 more minutes I had been alive with you, and not at all stabbed through the heart.
Who stabbed you? Was it I? I don't think so. I'd rather think your own hand struck that blow.
Because I saw you dead.
You died first!
No!
I'm sorry that I killed myself so soon.
I'm sorry that I was not truly dead. They wanted me to marry Paris, though, and Friar said he'd tell you, and the drug he gave me would wear off in time for you to take me off to Mantua.
I heard from Balthazar that you were dead, and all I wanted was to be with you.
Oh, it is so beautiful.
Oh, Tybalt? Cousin, are you well?
Well, I am dead, but that's not why I weep. Oh, heavens, are you too? It is all too much. I never knew you loved each other, truly. I am a trifle overwhelmed. Forgive me.
Tybalt? Dear Tybalt, my cousin now. This is perhaps not the best time to say it, but I'm very sorry that I killed you. I was upset about Mercutio. That's no excuse for murder, I know that now. But since we're family now, and, well, undead, can you forgive me and a peace be made?
Oh, Romeo. In life I was a killer, indiscriminate, quick to upbrage, quick to anger, so swift to pour my rage into the silver point of my quick-cutting sword. I hope since in the book of Tybalt I am given to turn another leaf, I shall not be so swift to act in anger, nor shall I stint forgiveness. Within my breast and in the world around me I crave peace, as does a newborn babe desire to breathe. I forgive you, Romeo, 'tis all bygones. I am the one who's sorry to you both. In truth, it was not me. Let us start fresh. Juliet, I must say, death becomes you.
Oh, thank you, Tybalt. You look quite nice, too.
To be honest, Tybalt, having been dead quite a few days and then splattered with Juliet's blood, does not exactly look quite nice, but let it go, let it go. He's turning over a new leaf.
So, what are we to do now that we're dead? Or is that what we are? I am not sure.
I'm pretty sure I died. I drank the drug the old apothecary gave to me.
I know I died. This sort of thing is usually rather permanent.
Well, kittens, what's to do? Are we in heaven?
No, we can't be. Where are all the angels?
I see an angel here.
Oh, Romeo.
Stop it, you two. You'll make me cry again. What if we're in the other place?
How would we know?
How could we know? Oh, God. Oh, God.
Lady Capulet shambles into view, gnawing on a dismembered body part. Something unexpected and gruesome. Perhaps a knee? She has been doing some serious flesh eating since the morning's bloodbath.
Tybalt, are you hungry, darling boy? Not hungry? Well, all the more for me. I cannot tell you what a lovely thing it is to feast without restraint. I would never a glutton, far from it. In fact, I'd sooner fast and know for sure my girlish gowns would still fit as they did when I was married. Now I find, however, that vanity is boring, better far to do the things I would like to do. Well, now, have you seen your father, Juliet?
No, Mother.
Well, I'll find him soon enough. Tybalt, eat. You need your nourishment.
She throws the joint to Tybalt, who shrieks and fumbles with the bloody thing as Lady Capulet heads off, licking her chops, smoothing her hair, and straightening her bloody gown. Tybalt hurls the joint towards Romeo, and a brief tossing game of "I don't want it, you take it" erupts. This is when Juliet, about to pass it on, hesitates. Her appetite is whetted. Tentatively, she sniffs it, and she sniffs a second time.
Would you now think me rude if I should have the tiniest little bite? I find I'm not so disinclined as one might think I ought to be to taste this juicy, bloody knee?
Is it a knee? I've never had a knee. Is that a tendon? I wonder how that tastes.
Dear cousin and dear cousin, I'll away. I fear my stomach is not quite at ease with your repast. Forgive me, I will go to the grounds. I'll go on a walk. They're lovely hereabouts. Enjoy. No, as my lady aunt says, more for you.
Tybalt heads off quickly among the tombs. Romeo and Juliet begin feeding each other in the most courtly, sweet puppy love style, pieces of the bloody leg in their hands.
My sweetling, would you like a little nibble?
Why, yes, my lord, a nibble would please me well.
Then you shall have one. Woe betide the man who dares deny my love her nibble.
Oh, 'tis ever so delicious. Love, would you enjoy a chewy little bite from me to you?
Oh, yes. But feed me little bites, and I am yours, and paradise is ours. Oh.
Juliet lovingly pulls a strip of flesh off the bone and sweetly feeds one end of it to Romeo so that they have one end of it in each of their mouths. Well, there they are on either end of a meat strand, chewing their way towards each other, still holding the leg between them. They are close to kissing.
Cousins, Mercutio's tomb is empty. Oh, excuse me. There's an empty tomb that's housed Mercutio's corpse, but now he's gone.
You'll be gone soon enough, dead man.
Gone, goner, gonest. Quite a trio, sister.
You need not draw your weapons on us, lady. We mean no harm.
Can't say the same of us.
She attacks. Tybalt, still the king of cats, evades her, but takes a blow on the arm.
Oh, you tore my sleeve!
Why wave your weapons at me? I'm not your enemy!
Sister, why are they talking?
I know not. Ah!
Tybalt attacks, disarming the first searcher. The second searcher runs to deflect a deadly blow.
I'll draw them off. Get thee to safety while I rescue Tybalt.
No, I will not leave thee. I can help. I'll fight.
My love, I cannot watch you risk your life.
Tybalt's luck has turned, and the two searchers are getting the better of him. He cries out,
"Nor can I watch as he is killed again. To safety go, where you asked, what's in a name? I'll find you there.
My love!
I'll find you, run!"
Juliet turns and runs. Romeo lifts his sword and joins the fight. Romeo and Tybalt hurl themselves at the searchers, overpowering them just long enough to scramble past and make their escape.
Jesu Christe!
I do not like it that they talked. Let's go. You follow them, I'll track the girl.
Wait, sister, I don't know if we should fight them. These three are not at all the same as those we're sworn to kill.
They're dead and risen, aren't they?
Yes, but...
Come on! They're getting away.
The second searcher leaves at a run. The first searcher watches her go, and then, instead of following Juliet, she disappears among the tombs. Hours pass. Rumors of the morning's events, and worse, race through Verona. The skies grow darker. A storm approaches. The apothecary of Mantua has come to Verona, to the graveyard. He leads a young boy past the tombs to an open space. The apothecary begins casting a ritual circle on the ground.
There are some things a man may know, and some a man can know, and things there are that can be learned or taught or made, but should not be, or so men say, should not, ought not, may not. What comfortable lies they tell, these men who think it is their job to guide us all and keep us safe from harm. What childish lies! There is no should. There is what can be done and what is done. Why should we fear to do the things we can? Nature brews us poisons. Why? To test us? No, no! There is no nature, no goddess, no God, no truth, no law, no public good, no benevolent master guiding us so that we never slip, nor fall, nor fail. But look around and see. If we are guided, our guide is not the best. Our kings and princes fail us every day. The people die. The good man suffers. The kind are trod upon. The rich buy up the powerful in secret and wield their puppets with impunity. Diseases and the gallows both devour the innocent without a second thought, not even a first. Why play this game wherein belief ascribes a motive to the world when every scrap of evidence we see proclaims the truth aloud? There is no plan. There is no order. No one is in charge. Do what you will. We swim in chaos, child. Throw off the yoke and tyranny of belief. Suffer no more the angst and the betrayal, but understand that life is as we make it, and all resentment slides away like ice. Bring out the creature.
The boy goes into one of the tombs. A heavy chain is heard dragging.
Slave, come forth.
A large figure drags in heavily from the back. The boy leads the creature into the circle, which the apothecary ritually closes.
Ah, good. Now stay there, slave. I once believed in justice and in gods, and that good men could teach me right from wrong, how wrong I was to trust them with my youth. I wrenched it back, though, ere they ate it all. Not like you. Your friends ate you, life and all. I took the strength I had and boarded ship. For months I sailed after the setting sun. I swabbed hard decks and shriveled in my skin. I huddled down below while tempests raged, and great waves rocked our ship, and fearsome beasts swam up from down below to glare at us and munch the bones of those unlucky few who fell. I endured all, and when we landed, I found in that new land far meeter subjects for my appetites. I sought the lairs of jungle sorcerers and conned their secrets. I'll tell you plain, since you will never speak to others of it, I stole their knowledge. Even they had rules they bid me follow, but I am not a follower of rules. What they would not give willingly, I took, of potions and of simples and of powders. Their mastery has no equal in this land. I learned the devil's trumpet and the weeds that stop the tongue and paralyze the limbs. I sought the deadly moonflower and found the desert thorn apple that blooms by night. I snared the sugar toad and tasted death in its fishy spines. The cook must taste the soup. I'm not quite as pretty as I was, but learning has its price, and I learned much. Come hither, boy. There is a thing that I must test. Dost thou fear to die?
Aye, my lord.
Why?
I know not, my lord. Everyone fears death.
That creature whose chain you hold? He's dead. Drop it not, my boy. Didst thou enjoy thy dinner? Thou ate mightily.
I did, sir. I was very hungry.
Oh, no doubt you had not eaten for some time. Poverty, famine, desperation. I needn't to feed you to this dead man here.
Oh, no, my lord. Please, I would rather not.
Hush! Either he will eat you and you'll die, or you will die and then become like him. It is a thing that I must try. And you, my lad, cannot imagine that you'll be worse off than starving, orphaned, and alone. Perhaps death will be nice. Hold out your arm.
Boy holds out his arm. The apothecary grabs the arm and holds it out to the creature.
Feed! Now we shall see how swift my plague can move. Will it creep while corpse by corpse I make them mine, or exponentially o'ertake the land? The quick way, then!
He throws a heavy sack over the boy, who falls, twitching. The larger creature lashes out, sudden and savage.
No, my lad. Wait, well, none of that. You mind your manners or I'll break your leg off at the knee. Hobbled Mercutio, the sad dead slave. Who's there?
You sent a messenger from Mantua.
I did.
Your message carried a request?
It did.
You asked that certain special tools be brought to you in Verona today.
Do you try my patience? What is the reply?
A gift. Call it that.
Ah, my searcher friend. I hoped it would be you. There. That's better now.
Such a creature should not walk the earth. Shall I kill it for you?
Should you do that, I'll rip your heart out and feed you your own blood.
It cannot speak, your creature?
No. The drug thickens the tongue and eats away the brains. Is it not so, my pretty sword-pricked lad?
Those that speak.
What?
The risen dead. I've seen some that can speak.
A fantasy! You've spent too long in darkness. Or perhaps you've sampled some of my forbidden wares?
I eat no pills nor suck no potions, friend. I heard the dead talk, princely as you please, and killed a few for lacking due respect. But speak they did. Be warned, apothecary. There's evil work afoot, and not your own.
Who? What dead spoke to you?
Have you my payment?
I thought this was a gift. Wait! Your fee.
The Capulet girl, and her cousin, Tybalt, and Romeo, the Montague who died this morning in the graveyard.
Say you so? If that be true, it is unlooked-for news. I could count you secure in my employ. Have you thought further on my offer?
Have you thought further upon mine to you? Gold is nice, but power is better far. Knowledge is better, come what may, one keeps it. My fealty is not so cheaply bought.
My mentorship is not so cheaply won. I know not if this tale you tell be true. But if you bring these creatures to me, I'll pay more than that little fee you have in hand.
If I snare your rabbits, will you teach me that which I desire to know?
Come tonight with speaking corpses for me, and we'll see. Wait, have you found it?
What?
Whatever it is you're searching for. I jest. But what of your companion? Is she still asking irksome questions?
She knows nothing.
She must know something.
Nothing about this. What's that?
Not your concern. Come back tomorrow. Pick it up! Come on, slave. I have a new quarry for you to hunt. Juliet Capulet. Dead or alive?
Mercutio lifts the boy and follows the apothecary into the gathering shadows. Act 3. A strange gloom hangs over Verona. The house of the searchers stands apart at the edge of the town. The second searcher dashes up to the door and enters her home warily. She is spattered with blood and gore.
So, did you kill them?
No. I lost the trail. Romeo jumped the wall into the orchard, and Tybalt ducked away and ran for town. I killed 5 others, though, that came for me. The kind that do not talk, the kind that bite. Do you still think the end times are not here?
I do not know.
Play us a song, sister.
Why do you always call me sister? We're not sisters.
We are. Not of the blood, but of the heart. Of the quest. Of the journey. Sing. Please.
All right, I'll sing. Hush, darling, hush, dear. Though nighttime be near, you need never fear, for I will be here, and I will not leave you alone. The crows they are calling, the wind it blows fierce, the candles are flickering low. Our lives are a little bright time, so hush and be happy, my girl. So hush, darling, hush, dear. Though nighttime be near, you need never fear, for I will be here, and I will not leave you alone. We ride through the hours and over the seasons, the spin in the arc of the world. Our lives are a little bright time, so hush and be happy, my girl. Hush, darling, hush, dear. Though nighttime be near, you need never fear, for I will be here, and I will not leave you alone. I don't know why I sang that one.
I think the end is coming. It is good. I do not fear to die in thy company.
Who said anything about dying?
Oh, death is all around us. I know not if, when I took the searcher's path, I thought it would be me to fight the battle, me to face the final, awful scourge. But here I am. I took my vows. I'll fight against the darkness. And if I cannot stop it, yet will I tax its forces mightily ere I go.
You need not die. What if there were a way? Another way? Another path, a sturdier allegiance? I'm only testing, sister. I'm glad to see the coward's way has no allure for you. We'll fight like furies, if this is the end. I think 'tis not, but I'll be ready, if it is.
The city's thick with walking corpses, and 'tis growing thicker. Perhaps we should seek help from San Martino or Gretzana. We need not fight alone.
There's no need for outside help. I'll take the graveyard on my own tonight, and you can manage any trouble in the town. Unless you think you can't.
I'll manage it.
The storm is rising. We'll have thunder soon.
What is Verona in July without a thunderstorm?
Those clouds will bring the night down sooner, too.
Our work is done at night. We'll start the sooner.
Let's start it now. Be safe, sister. Be strong.
The first searcher embraces the second searcher fiercely, and then breaks the embrace and leaves without looking back. Night is falling. High winds have begun to blow, the rumbling thunder coming closer. Juliet darts into the Capulet garden, terrified and trying to stay hidden. She looks up at her balcony, now unpeopled.
Romeo, art thou there? Hist! Romeo, hist! Who's there? Hello? Romeo? Tybalt?
A flash of lightning reveals the orchard in stark relief, empty except for Juliet.
I am alone. Alone. There's no one here.
Lightning. The second flash of light reveals a hulking figure standing in silhouette, motionless amidst the trees, and then everything is dark again.
I am the first one here. Or they have come and gone while I was hiding from the creatures in the street. Romeo will come. Romeo, come quick. Come quick, my love.
Another flash of lightning. Juliet spins around and sees the figure, almost within arm's reach of her. She leaps back and then recognizes him. It is Mercutio!
Mercutio! Mercutio, it's you! Are you returned from death? Oh, I was so frightened, but you are a friend. Are you not? Mercutio! Mercutio! No! Romeo!
Juliet stumbles backwards, tripping over her own feet. Mercutio pursues her, now growing more intent, more fearsome. Juliet is trying to scramble away, but Mercutio grabs her and she screams. She claws her way to the balcony, trying to climb out of Mercutio's reach. He pulls her down, screaming and struggling. He bites her. There is a sudden change in Mercutio. He drops the struggling Juliet, who scrambles away from him. He jerks unnaturally. He swallows. He collapses. Juliet approaches the body.
Mercutio. Oh, my poor friend.
He doesn't move. She turns the body over so it is resting on her lap. Mercutio's arm shoots up and grabs her by the neck, and then just as suddenly the hand relaxes. Gently, Mercutio touches her face.
Juliet.
He strokes her cheek, touches a lock of hair, and pulls her into a kiss. Surprised,
No!
she pulls away.
No! You mustn't! I know you are confused, but you can't kiss me. It is improper. No! Mercutio, stay. Ugh. Good boy.
Where am I?
In Verona?
Are you sure? My mind is foggy. I was stabbed. We fought Tybalt and Romeo, and then the dark. A fever and a madness or a dream. Oh. You're very cold.
Well, I am dead. We both are. Oh, sir, forgive me. Would it were not so, or I were defter of my tongue to tell you. We are dead, yes, but animate. You died when Tybalt stabbed you. Then Romeo killed Tybalt. Then they banished Romeo. Then tried to make me marry County Paris. But I was married first to Romeo. So Friar Lawrence gave to me a drug that made me seem dead. The next thing that I knew, I woke up in my tomb to find my love, my Romeo, a suicide. By poison, his head, a cold weight lying in my lap. He had not left enough poison for me. Instead, I stabbed myself. I bled a lot. And then I died.
But you're not dead.
Oh, yes, I'm dead. But now I'm undead. So are you.
This is something new.
Oh, huh.
What happened?
Oh, you bit me?
I bit you?
Yes, just now you came out of the shadows and attacked.
Madness in a dream, indeed. Forgive me.
No, of course. In truth, I don't feel any pain at all. Huh.
You married Romeo?
Yes, I love him.
You just met him.
I know. And yet he is my heart's own heart. My love so true that even death fell down before it.
Are you sure? Did you consider your options? Do you consider them now? Juliet, consider me.
What?
Think on me, sweet Jewel. If you're giving favors, why not some for me? I'm so very good at being grateful. And you know me well. I've been your family's guest so many times. You think I never caught your sidelong looks? I often thought, were I to choose a girl, a certain Capulet would be the one.
I'm married to a Montague.
So what? He's dead. You get a second chance with me.
But I don't love you. I love Romeo.
Not Romeo. Not he. You never loved that boy, that velvet lad, that Montague in lace. 'Tis me you want, sweet Juliet, not him. You're drawn to me. You crave me, even now, for I am all the bad boys of your dreams. The man who'll take your hand and teach you things your nurse would never tell you. All those things you dreamed about. The secrets of your heart and other places. What a pale man is Romeo when you compare him to the scarlet of my soul. Now that everything is changed, why should you not be free to change your choice as well? I'm better than your Romeo, you'll see. Forget his candle. Burn the torch of me.
Mercutio, I wish I had the words to quell your fervor. Though, to speak the truth, the words you've spoke are not without effect. But I love Romeo. I love him. I killed myself for him, and he for me. Double suicide and reanimation creates a bond that is too hard to break.
I'll find a way.
Mercutio, enough!
Romeo enters the garden. Mercutio sees him, but Juliet does not. Mercutio locks eyes with him.
Perhaps your Romeo would like to share. He got me killed, and we were bosom friends. I think 'tis not too much to say he owes me. If pretty Juliet would like to play, why should we three not have a little sport?
I do not understand just what you mean. But what I comprehend is scandalous. There are laws and rules and guidelines all instructing us that such things are not right.
What's right? We're dead. Let's have a little fun. My good friend Romeo, when still alive, ne'er shied away from revelry at hand.
Romeo never had his true love pawed by friends of doubtful motive.
Romeo! Your friend has said the strangest things to me.
I see he has, and here my other friend has listened to them all.
Oh, you mistake. I heard but little, and that little was enough.
To make you blush? To turn your dead cheeks scarlet? I thought you loved me, sweet boy. Was I wrong? Do you prefer Mercutio's advances to my all-honest love?
No, my love. I could not meet you sooner. To escape the hungry fiends that walk now in the street, I hid. 'Twas nearly night and storming, for I could with safety travel, but I came here to find you, and then I was attacked. Mercutio attacked me.
What?
I'm fine. He was not yet himself. He's changed. He's now like us, but when he bit me...
Bit you?
Yes.
I don't remember biting her, I don't.
Once he had bitten me, he let me go and shook and changed back to himself.
And then assailed you in another way?
All that I really did was kiss her once.
You kissed her? You kissed him? Did you like it?
I don't know.
Ah!
Oh, Romeo, believe me, my sweet tassel gentle, I am all yours.
And I, a peregrine, too fierce on seeing his mistress feed another bird. Lady, I seek only to give you happiness. Do you prefer my friend to me?
No, beloved, never. Your home is here, mine here. A visitor is not a resident.
But if you want some other thing.
Oh, peace! Oh, peace! Yes, she loves you, she rebuffed me, you win. You're truly matched, and I will no more meddle. Your earnestness is safe from me, my loves.
You roll your eyes at me, Mercutio.
I do, sir. I do roll my eyes at you. What of it? You love each other. Bravo. Now, please, settle down, and read books to each other of an evening. There'll be no children of the body, true, but perhaps you'll have a child of the tooth. A well-placed bite could make your dreams come true. But settle down. Heavens forfend you should escape the cage that held you all your life and ask, what are the rules? Are they the same as they were when I was not dead and free? So settle, please. I'll take myself away to fairer, freer pastures there to play.
Mercutio, wait.
Yes, please don't leave us now.
I wish you'd stay and not take such offense. But I prefer to keep my Juliet unshared, for now at least. 'Tis only been a week since we were married. We've only spent one night together. One perfect night.
'Tis still our honeymoon, but I don't want to be old-fashioned all the time. But perhaps once Romeo and I have had more time to share each other with each other, we will want to share with someone else as well. And then who better than my true love's truest friend?
Generous, Juliet. But hold my hand, and I'll try anything.
Oh, Romeo, if you love me, I'll try anything too.
You two are ridiculous. And yet I love you both. Dear friends, forgive my mockery. I only wish I had a friend to pair me as you pair each other.
We'll find you one, my brother. It is good to see your strong, garrisoned heart open up its gates and hear you say that love is not a thing to be derided only.
It is not, but I have always guarded hard against it. I've come a long, rough journey since last we jested at love's expense.
So have we all.
What happened to you? You were in your grave.
I have no memory, just flashes of a nightmare. Choking, a chain, a dark cloud flooding my mind, my sight, my spirit. A man. There was a man who poisoned me, a wheezing, evil man.
I heard that sound. An apothecary, I bought a poison from him in Mantua.
Now I do bethink me, the surgeon who was summoned to my side when I was stabbed. The very same. He was there when I died.
And there when you returned again from death. The friar, he can tell us what to do. Oh, where's Tybalt?
Tybalt?
He is undead, too.
We split up to foil the searchers.
But he is very different than he was.
A twig snaps. The three press themselves into the shadows. Juliet's nurse walks slowly into the garden.
Nurse?
The undead nurse shambles after them with hungry purpose, slow, ravenous, terrifying. Night has settled inexorably over Verona. The city glitters darkly in the wake of the summer thunderstorm. Balthazar dashes into a darkened Veronan alley, breathing rapidly after his hard ride to Mantua and back. He carries an evil-looking book. He moves with utmost caution.
The road twixt Mantua and here is crawling. They took my horse a mile without the town. I had to creep and dash my way back home. But this is it. This book tells everything, the recipes, the experiments, the deaths. The apothecary's secrets all are here, and once the friar has them, we'll be saved. The hour when grim night takes hold in triumph fills me with dread. The sun declines, and we who wander down below survive, or don't. Phoebus, where's your car that keeps us safe? Why are the streets so empty? Windows dark, no souls abroad, or so it seems.
The page appears, now a mindless revenant, and another creature appears, and then another.
Oh no!
As one, the creatures swing their heads and see him. This is the full horde now, and they are closing in. Balthazar tries to escape, tries to beat them away with the book, but there are too many. He is surrounded. He screams as he vanishes into the horde, which drags him off. The evil book lies where he dropped it in the middle of the street.
Sister?
Friar Lawrence, Romeo, Juliet, and Mercutio appear.
Oh, gods.
The second searcher looks up from the book. She sees them.
Quick, come with us.
We hear the hungry horde approaching. The second searcher joins the others, and they sprint out of sight.
Yeah.
Unmute, then talk. Hi, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
There we go.
Hello, beloved audience. Welcome to Intermission. Why don't we give everybody a few minutes to do what they need to do at Intermission, and when we come back, we will do the drawing for the signed copies of the newly published R and J and Z. Let's take 5. How long's our intermission, Marcy?
Let's go with 5 before the raffle, shall we?
Great. We'll see you all in 5. Take 5. Get your water, do your things. We'll see you back in 5.
Thanks, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I am both Judith and Linda tonight. Judith Jerome and Linda Nelson coming from our house where we're going to pull the raffle. It's very exciting. All of you, just by attending this evening, entered into a raffle for signed copies of the very first publication of R and J and Z. And we are super excited to raffle those off to you tonight. So Judith, are we ready?
We are ready.
We are ready. Judith, as always, is our own Vanna White.
Please.
And into the basket they go. And trying to give you good video of both of us here. There we are.
Hi, everybody.
Thanks
All right.
for being with us again tonight.
I just drew Molly Gottwalls.
Molly Gottwalls, you have got yourself a signed by Melody copy of R and J and Z. Congratulations. Yay, Molly. Okay, who else?
I drew again, and I drew Kate Mincer.
Kate, who definitely, as part of the original show, deserves her own signed copy of R and J and Z. We will be putting these in the mail to you. So I think we have, what, 3 more? Do we have 3? We have 3 more.
I believe we do.
Start making some noise out there, people.
Gloria Young.
Gloria Young, yay. Winner number 3, Gloria Young. You're putting these aside somewhere
I am
for us?
indeed.
Yes. Yeah.
I am indeed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 4, winner number 4.
Uh-oh. I cut off the last name, Nicholas. I think there's only one Nicholas, so we'll figure out who that is.
Yes, I saw Nicholas and saw that he did not have a last name. Nicholas, you have won a signed copy of R and J and Z this evening. There he is, Nicholas Mongiardo Cooper. Congratulations.
Right.
And our final winner of the evening?
Joanne Morton.
Joanne Morton, you are our final winner of a signed copy of the newly published R and J and Z this evening. We wanted to raffle these off because we are celebrating the publication of this play. How great is it that work developed at the Opera House over the years gets published and goes out into the world and has bigger lives. We're so proud of that, Melody. We're so proud of you and proud of the support that you all have given the Opera House over the years that allows us to commission and produce original work. If you are totally moved by tonight's production and the publication of R and J and Z and would like to donate more, you can always go to operahousearts.org/donate. We appreciate it. We're getting through this challenge. We'll all be different on the other side. We hope that you're going to stay with us for a talk back at the end of the show. And now I'm getting ready to turn it back over on with the show.
Act 4. It is midnight in the graveyard of Verona. Cloaked and hooded, the first searcher drops a heavy body onto a heap of new dug corpses.
Death comes knocking at the door, singing siren songs. Death comes singing songs of yore. Death comes singing songs. Death is easy, but 'tis strange, for what happens after? If your life has been a cage, what will happen after? Never was there life's and sorrow, to love, to lose, to love. Wake again and face the morrow, to love, to love, to love. Wish for freedom, wish for ease. Life will take these from you. Death will offer mysteries. Death will bring you mysteries. Death will open mysteries. The offer is before you. The offer is before you. The offer.
Why do you sing to the dead?
I do not know. To soothe their passing.
There's no soothing it.
No.
If your hunger be for food, eat and be full. Slake a thirst with water, but these hungers for other things, they can never be sated. The void asks for more, always.
I feel empty.
Let's begin. Have you the tools and instruments we need?
I do, my lord.
And do you wish to see the fearsome rites that I perform tonight?
I do, my lord.
You've jettisoned your insubordination? You vow to follow me where'er I lead.
I do, my lord. I take the oath. I crave the power and the knowledge of the dark.
And have you brought the fodder for the feast?
The first searcher pulls 2 bound, hooded forms from the darkness.
I have, my lord.
Are you prepared to make the sacrifice?
I am, my lord.
Then doff thy hood and step into the circle. In this place, I am a god. Forget it not. Now you belong to the dark. You serve the spirits with both hands.
I serve the spirits with both hands.
These corpses are hungry. What would you feed them?
Flesh. But first a dose of the devil's trumpet, that ravenous their hunger never ceases.
Why would you do this?
I serve the spirits with both hands.
Why?
I serve the spirits with both hands.
Tell them!
I serve the spirits with both hands.
Then serve them. What do you have to offer to the dead?
A creature who bears poison in her blood, and a dead man who was a murderer.
She pulls the figures forward and removes their hoods to reveal Lady Capulet and Tybalt, both gagged.
Why, Tybalt, king of cats? You do me honor, and Lady Capulet, I know your features well. What's that? You don't know mine? Of course you don't. And yet, I know you and your family. Did you ask me how? Your pet ecclesiast was once my teacher. You know, your friar. I wonder, do you know much of his past? Before he baptized your little girl and found what he called revelation and changed from a man who sought to know into a man who sought to keep others from knowing? Ah! I cannot understand you. No matter, though. I do not need your voice. I am, however, curious. Remove her gag, and if she truly speaks, let's hear. No biting, lady. Sure, such coarseness is beneath you. Can you speak?
I can curse, and curse you I do with all the Force of hell! May your words turn to ashes in your mouth, your evil plans to dust!
Stop up her mouth again! So it is true. The talking dead exist. They'll even curse at you. I'll try a thing. Uncovers nose and mouth.
The apothecary takes a thimbleful of powder from his pouch as the first searcher removes Tybalt's gag. He blows the powder in Tybalt's face.
I see you. Release us. I see your pain.
You don't see me. What do you mean you see me?
You need but let us go. Each choice we make carries its price paid unto us or by us.
I like my choices.
You will not like them so well when you are called upon to make a reckoning. I know this. Release us.
You shut your mouth, killer! Shut it for him!
The first searcher pushes the gag back into Tybalt's mouth.
This will not do. The coup poudre has no effect on him. The talkers must be killed, all of them. You'll handle that?
Yes, my lord.
Start with these two. I need a bit of bone. The fresh dead make the best ingredient. And who more fresher dead than these back talkers? Take them and bring me back from each a little piece of skull.
I will, my lord.
The first searcher pulls the captives behind a nearby crypt.
With both hands, I serve the spirits. With both hands, I serve the spirits. Cocombre zombie, cocombre diable, nuit de mort, nuit sunsis.
A violent commotion breaks out behind the crypt. After a burst of fighting, silence. And then the first searcher limps into view carrying a single bloody scalp.
Only one?
Tybalt escaped, my lord.
Did he? Your knots, perhaps, were not tied tight enough? You are no child. Your weakness is not charming. You've made your choice.
The apothecary takes the scalp, shaves a small chip of the bone into his mortar, and grinds it. He takes a handful of powder from the mortar and throws it on the heap of bodies. For a moment, nothing. And then the dead begin to rise.
Rise, rise and serve me. My revenants, my Lazarines, my horde. Be born again to scourge the universe. Feed them, acolyte.
The first searcher produces a chunk of flesh and throws it to the risen dead, who fight for it and eat it.
One more instruction for you. Acolyte, your sister searcher, I'll need you to kill her. We cannot let a threat like her run loose. You understand? Good. Now, bring them!
The first searcher waves another chunk of flesh at the horde, who turn towards her, wand out, balancing terror and control like a lion tamer. She lures them off. Juliet, Romeo, the friar, Mercutio, and the second searcher burst into the friar's cell. They barricade the door. Juliet takes up a position to one side, staring fierce and fearful through the slats hammered over the broken window. The second searcher glares around suspiciously. Mercutio takes a step towards her. She throws down the book and falls into a fighting stance.
Hold! He's not your enemy. Mercutio, stand down. Give me that book.
I know you, Friar. You're a meddler, but not a bad man. These monsters in your room attacked me this morning, but here you shield them. Why would you do so?
Searcher, your duty is an honorable one, but you deal more in violence than in science. These three are something never known before, anomalies, a mystery that faith and nature must conspire to solve. Where did you get this book?
'Twas on the ground. I picked it up just as you came upon me. Will it solve your mystery, do you think?
Yes, will it tell us what we are? How did this happen? How are we alive?
You are not alive, my boy, and yet not dead. At least not as what we're wont to think of it. This thing is not unknown in history, that by some magic, the devilish or good, the flesh reanimates and walks the earth. This creature was that kind of ancient scourge. And those who chased us here, the mindless horde. But what I see in you and in your love, I've never seen, nor read, nor heard of neither. The corpse that walks and holds its spirit too, that death can seize the body, not the mind. The psyche revives in the revenant. This is a combination never known before.
Are we damned? Are we like those outside?
Peace, boy. Keep your voice low. The horde without would gladly tear out your throat, dead or no. This is what I believe. A drug I gave Juliet, which mimics death. You know I have some skill in medicines. You've no idea how deep my knowledge goes. My drug was in her body when she died, but of itself it could not have produced this precedentless miracle effect.
Juliet, didst drink some other draft that night?
No drink, nor no food neither.
Are you sure?
As sure as I sucked poison from his lips, but could not find enough in them to die. Remember that I stuck a dagger here and died as sharp a death as could be found?
Julie, love, my nightingale.
I saw my nurse. She would have eaten me had Romeo not pulled me quick away.
You drank the same poison that killed Romeo?
I licked the bottle and sucked at his lips, but there was not enough to poison me.
But you drank some.
A drop or two, no more.
That drop was then enough. Unprecedented. The mixture, volatile, unthought of, in you, the birth of immortality. You drank my drug. You drank his drug and died. The tincture brought you back, yourself intact, but that cannot explain.
Arms burst through the wooden slats of the window and seize Juliet. She screams and struggles. The others leap to her aid. At last, Romeo pulls her free. She breaks from him wildly.
Is that all we are? Hands and teeth and hunger? What have you made of me? I should be dead!
Juliet!
I ripped the prince's throat out with my teeth. Who's next? Will I be hungry soon again? Bury me deep. Let me smother in earth and never serve as food for ravenous, mindless, devouring mouths.
And bury me too in the selfsame grave. I will not live without thee, Juliet. Whatever life may be, I will not live apart from thee. Knowest thou what torture 'twas, and Mantua exiled from thou? In life, in death, thou art my lodestar, my anchor, my truth. My first and final purpose is to love thee, Juliet. Take that, and I am empty as a shell.
I'm leaving.
Child, you mustn't.
I'm not your child. My sister is out there without me, fulfilling our sacred duty and our oath to fight this evil scourge. I'll take your word that these are not a threat, but I'll not let you keep me from my work.
Friar, let her go. She means to keep us safe.
I will go too. A little girl like you should have a bodyguard.
The second searcher deftly disarms Mercutio, threatening a very delicate part of his anatomy with her wand.
A little boy like you should watch his mouth.
What is it, Friar?
Aghast, the friar stares at the grimoire. They all look at the book.
He's making the undead?
He's animating corpses, and the living will be murdered by the dead. Until he is the sole soul left alive, he means to turn the world into his slaves.
We must stop him.
I'd say we do.
How? How?
We shall have to kill him. The Revenants already in his thrall will fight us viciously. We'll need weapons.
Romeo and Mercutio draw their swords. The second searcher holds up her wand. Juliet pulls the dagger from her heart and holds it up tentatively.
Not enough.
We have some weapons at our house. A weapons room. Actually, you know how my father is. Was?
Will to the Capulet estate to arm us there. It isn't far.
I have to find my sister.
Of course. We'll go in teams. Mercutio might be of some assistance to you, lady.
2 is better than 1 when monsters are about.
Ugh. We'll find you at the Capulets.
What is your name? I should like to know it.
Maeve.
Thank you, Maeve.
I'll fetch supplies.
How dost thou, Juliet?
Not well, my lord. I dreamed I was a girl in Verona. I had a nurse, a home, a garden that I loved. I met a boy like me, bred in Verona. When first I heard his voice, a part of me awaked that I had not known to be sleeping. Hearing him, I bloomed as he were a sun, and I the firstling flower of the world. But dreams are liars. Art thou Romeo?
Aye, lady, he.
Hast any proof? My love, my lord, my husband, and my friend of these 5 days, might you not be a fever of the mind? A pretty madness, a figment made of death and drug and dream?
I am here with you.
A dream might say as much. I feared I should go mad in the tomb if I awaked ere you had come. Perhaps I did, and bashed my head in, and we are in hell, flung here without benefit of instruction, to push our way through bones and snapping teeth, to bleed and fight and wander in these torments.
You love me.
I do, past everything.
No hell could brook such love and be a hell. I cannot tell if this be real. Who can? How can we ever know? Was it real when I first saw thee shining in thy parents' house? Was it real when I climbed up thy orchard walls? A second time from inside out, transformed from a doting boy to a man in love? Was it real when I left Tybalt dead? Not 30 minutes married? And a killer? When I told old Death he must be envious to keep such beauty fresh inside her tomb? Philosophers concatenate and mull. Let them with cobwebs dab away at truth. I know it fresh. I know it matters not that I do the best with what I'm given. And what I'm given is to love thee well. All lanterns of my heart are lit by love of thee. In loving thee, I give light to the world. Whatever may be real, that's what is true.
4 times we've been alone together. That is all. And yet it seems a lifetime's worth of light and darkness mixed. If we survive all this, I'd like to pass a peaceful afternoon with thee. No ghouls, no tombs, no future of the world at stake. A gentle summer afternoon, a quiet breeze. 2 lovers gazing at the passing clouds.
We'll have that afternoon. I promise thee.
The time grows short.
We're ready.
Haste we then. I failed you, both of you. I meant so well. I know not if you can forgive me. I would ask your pardon, but it seems too small a word. I ran away. I ran away.
Friar Lawrence leaves through the door to the street. Romeo and Juliet take hands and follow him out. Hunting for the first searcher, Maeve and Mercutio have made their way back to the Capulet Orchard.
What prompted you to take the searcher's role?
I had no family to marry me off, and I was good at fighting.
You are very good at fighting. Have you other talents?
Yes.
Your name is Maeve?
It is.
And so, at last, Queen Mab, you come to me!
You speak to me or to the air?
To you, to the air, to anyone that hears. 'Tis not what I expected, but 'tis good.
What's good?
So many things. Your neck, just there where it meets with your shoulder. That fierce glint in your eye that says I'm best to watch my step. Your arching brow that has reduced me to a praiser of such parts. The shape of your lips and the words that fall from them. The curve of your hips, your arms, your legs.
Mercutio, monster. Are you tempted by my flesh?
I think you mean to trick me with this question. Does speak of eating or of other things?
Say that I speak of eating.
Again, I fear a double meaning in your words.
A monster and afraid?
'Tis you should be afraid if I'm a monster.
Oh, I think that I can handle you.
I should like that.
Alas, you're not the kind of man I like. I prefer them living. In life you might have measured up.
In life I was a sodding idiot. I thought that cleverness was all that mattered. The wild revel, the drunken brawl, the frolic. I mocked both friend and foe for earnestness. I never simply said a thing I felt, but masked it all with bantering and play. So let me say this plain. I find you fair and strong and powerful and wise, and I should like to kiss you on the mouth.
They kiss passionately. The first searcher appears, still holding a chunk of flesh.
What are you doing with that creature, sister?
Oh, sister! What? Where have you been?
Working. Do you need my help?
We were looking. Are you hurt?
It's a scratch. Now, stand aside. I see a corpse that wants a burial.
The first searcher squares off with Mercutio. The second searcher steps between them.
You'll have to go through me.
Maeve.
A single revenant appears behind the first searcher.
Sister, at your back!
The first searcher spins and throws the meat to the creature, who begins devouring it.
Why are you feeding that?
Why are you kissing that?
He's different. The ones who talk are different. This you've fed, however.
The second searcher moves to kill the feeding creature. The first searcher blocks her.
I cannot let you do that, and if you challenge me one step further, I will kill you.
What sayest thou, sister?
I am not your sister. I'm stronger now. I'm not some paper eater living in the fairy tales of dusty books. I found a better path. A better...
Whatever you have done, it can be undone, sister.
The first searcher attacks ferociously. The second searcher defends herself.
Never call me that. A grave robber, a desecrationist, an oath breaker.
Stop this! I do not wish to harm you.
Ha! I am sworn to kill you. How like you that?
I like it not.
Come on, then. One of us must surely die tonight.
They fight. The first searcher is badly wounded and falls.
I did not wish to throw my life away. I broke my vow. I sold it for a fee that cost me more than anything I gained. I stepped too far, and in the dark, no light shone forth to guide me home. I deceived you. I failed. Forgive me, sister.
Hush. All is forgiven.
The voice of the
Friar! Friar!
Apothecary, what? I think that I can stop him, but not if you are with me. Not if he sees you alive and me not killing you.
No, sister, my place is at your side.
Get you gone. Your place is fighting off this scourge where I cannot. Let me at least make this one last thing right. Go. Farewell, go!
Friar!
Turn! Turn and face me! Turn, you coward, turn!
You disappoint me.
He spins around and seizes her by the neck, strangling her until she goes limp and drops her wand. She crumples to the ground.
Oh.
That's how a girl dies. With a little sob. Never take a student. They are never you, no matter how you hope. Send me no more girls. I'll have a friar to my sword. Where are you, Brother Lawrence?
Friar Lawrence appears on the balcony above.
Here, Brother James.
I could just stand here gazing up at you for all my days and nights to come, old friend, if only I had not so very much murdering to do.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak this?
Oh, hear more, do. I love to speak my thoughts, and all this time I've had no audience.
What will you say? I've seen your gramarye. Will you vaunt the ways you've twisted nature? Brag of those you've slaughtered, the death you've wrought? Your work is evil, James. You mar the world. What might be good is poison in your hands. No more.
Oh, please you, just a wee bit more.
The apothecary lunges at the friar, flailing at him with his fists, unleashing all of his pent-up rage on his former teacher.
You never trusted me. You held me back. You checked my inborn skill at every turn. You taunted me with platitudes, scolded me for seeking greater knowledge. You drove me out.
Tybalt runs in. The apothecary has his hands around Friar Lawrence's neck, squeezing the life out of him.
Tybalt, my son, help. James, why?
Oh, yes, the why. The sacred, dreadful why.
Tybalt stabs the apothecary.
Forgive me. We are our choices, and we pay their price.
Villain is a villain, James. I may understand, but not excuse. Unless you should repent. Do you think your early sorrows will excuse you? Your precious human infallibility? You made your choices, ever for the worst. And now your life snuffs out, and none shall mourn your death, though I shall grieve a bit for what you mightst have been. Thou wast so angry as a boy, but I hoped a kindness would awake a kinder self. I see thee now, a bloody, ragged man, and wonder if, by word or deed, I could have changed thy course.
The apothecary dies. Friar Lawrence sags. Romeo and Juliet run in, armed with weapons from the armory. Friar Lawrence heaves a heavy sigh and then turns to them. As he does so, the first searcher's revenant reappears and bites the friar. He exclaims and collapses, clutching the wound. Juliet spins and faces off with the creature. A ferocious fight. Juliet kills it brutally.
How long before you turn?
A minute or two.
How can we save you? There must be a way.
I know not, Juliet. I know not how. 'Tis close. The answer.
Friar dies.
Father Lawrence!
Tybalt, get away from him. Juliet, Mercutio attacked you, then he bit you, then he changed. He was mindless like them, but then he changed. 'Tis you! 'Tis you, my love! You are the cure! Give me your arm!
He takes hold of her arm and pulls out a knife. The friar is stirring.
Romeo!
He slices her arm. Blood wells up red and fresh. The friar convulses.
My blood?
The friar contorts himself upright. Juliet kisses Romeo hard. She looks at the friar, then at her bleeding arm, and then back to Romeo.
In his mouth.
The friar, fully changed, lets out a terrifying sound and charges. Juliet meets him, shoving her arm into his mouth. They grapple, the force of their collision knocking them to the ground. The friar on top of Juliet. They go still.
Romeo! Help!
Romeo runs to her with Tybalt's help, lifting the friar's body and helping her up.
Cousin.
Cousin!
They embrace. The friar sits up.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Romeo, Juliet, and Tybalt throw their arms around the friar as Mercutio and the second searcher come smashing into the locked garden gate, breathless, pursued by the horde.
Unbar the gate and let us in, quickly!
Romeo rushes to open the gate. The second searcher and Mercutio slam it shut behind them, locking it just as the horde arrives. It is a terrifying spectacle.
They're everywhere. The whole city is turned.
Father, my blood cured you. It cured Mercutio. Could it cure them?
Ye gods, my daughter, it is possible. Tybalt, quick fetch the garden pump to me. I think I have it.
He produces a length of tubing and improvises a connection from Juliet to the pump to the hose. The horde is shaking at the gate, on the verge of breaking in.
My child, art thou prepared?
Friar, wait, this is not safe.
It is our only hope for safety.
No!
My love, I must. Hold me tight.
I never let you go.
I'm ready, Friar.
Friar Lawrence starts the pouring of Juliet's blood into the pump and lifts the hose.
Open the gates!
Mercutio and the second searcher open the gates. The horde pours in. Friar Lawrence unleashes a massive spray of blood onto them, a geyser. All is confusion and terror. And then, suddenly, the creatures collapse. Everyone is covered in blood. Romeo holds the weakened Juliet in his arms. Mercutio and the second searcher stand close to each other, panting with exertion. Friar Lawrence drops the hose connected to Juliet's veins. They all stare at the heap of bodies, trapped in suspense, waiting to see the outcome of their dousing in Juliet's blood.
Woo!
Balthazar!
You did it, man! You did it! There's a cure! I'm just like you, myself again, alive. Well, not alive, but I'll never die.
Balthazar!
I want to eat some flesh. Consensually, of course.
Luckily, a cute blood-drenched girl is reanimating out of the heap.
Rosaline!
Balthazar swings Rosaline into a deep dip and plants a big kiss on her lips.
I always wanted to do that.
Me too. Do you want to go to the butcher's shop with me?
I do, my lords. The lady craves fresh meat.
Balthazar and Rosaline run off to the butcher shop. The others come to their feet, discovering the higher consciousness of their new existence. The second searcher reaches into her bag and produces 2 crowns.
I have been carrying this pair of crowns, whose former heads are short of bodies now that they've been hewn off at the neck. Friar, I think we too are all that's left of all the clergy and municipality. What shall we do with these?
2 fitting heads to wear 2 fitted crowns. The world is new, and leadership should match its citizens. Dear Romeo and Juliet, I ask of you, will you take up the scepter of the realm?
If thou wilt be my king, I'll be thy queen.
My queen, my saint, my goddess, and my love, forevermore.
He kisses her. Romeo and Juliet stand next to each other, ready to be crowned.
As sole survivor of our government, it falls on me to crown our new regent. Kneel, Romeo, and rise an emperor. Kneel, Juliet, and rise our empress.
Everyone is dead. Long live Romeo and Juliet!
Long live
Romeo and Juliet!
Cheers and kissing break out. Romeo and Juliet kiss. Maeve and Mercutio kiss. Tybalt finds Paris's page in the revived horde and lays a big kiss on him. The nurse kisses the friar. Amidst the celebration, Juliet swoons.
My queen, oh friar, she's lost too much blood. Juliet, my love, stay with me.
Hush, my lord.
Romeo places his hand on Juliet's midsection. He feels what she feels.
Oh, Romeo.
The end. Aww.
What a wonderful job, everybody. A big round of applause. Can you hear it from all of us? Can you hear the standing ovation from the audience? Everybody saying, well done, brava.
Awesome.
What a fabulous production. Thank you all so much for doing that. And I hope some of our audience will stay with us to chat. And Marcy, maybe as people stay and have questions, we can promote them so we can see them on the screen too, perhaps.
I am happy to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, fabulous cast. Generally, when we do a talk back, we give you guys a few minutes to go to the dressing room and wipe some of that blood off. I don't know if you want a few minutes or if you're okay just coming in here. Getting great reaction. You can all see the chat, I hope, from the audience. Bravos, bravos. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, audience. Thank you for being with us tonight. To bring to life, as it were, our undead family. So glad you like the Zoom production. It's a whole different thing, and particularly well suited for Romeo and R&J and Z because of its filmic aspects, which R&J and Z has always had, coming from the horror movie genre as much as from Shakespeare. So this was a particularly fitting production of it. So we will promote to a panelist, anybody that's got questions, or you can ask questions in the chat. What is the host drinking? That's our first question, Mr. Jeffrey.
Wild Turkey 101. Cheers.
A little wild turkey for the host tonight. Absolutely. Thank you, Steve. Good question. Do we have other questions and comments from the audience in addition to the huge round of applause and bravos that we're getting? Very well deserved. Fantastic job, everybody. We do have, I have some things I would love to ask our playwright. Is she back with us here? Where is Melody?
I am.
There you are.
Campaign. So
hello, congratulations on the publication of R&J and Z. Marcy, I don't know if you have the link to the publishers where people can buy this if they were not one of the 5 lucky winners. And just to repeat those 5 lucky winners, we have our winners tonight of our signed copies of R&J and Z are Molly Gottwalds, Kate Mincer, Joanne Morton, Gloria Young, and Nicholas. So the 5 of you, we have your contact information. We know where you live, and we'll be mailing out some signed copies of R&J and Z for you. And Lillian just bought her copy. Thank you, Lillian. Thank you for all the purchases support, obviously, these fabulous artists and this fabulous playwright. And all of your attendance here tonight has supported the Opera House and our ability to continue to produce new work and develop new work. So one of the comments coming in, super impressed with the boy. He was amazing. Carson Bates, yes. A brand new boy, I believe.
yeah, that's my nephew.
Yeah, that's your nephew. Excellent. Good. So Melody, the burning question for me after all these years with R&J and Z, I want to just put out there on the record how beautiful your language is and the rhythm, and just it's been a while. It's been 6 years since we premiered this and you first developed it. Why don't you just tell the audience a little bit about how it came that you put Shakespeare and zombies into one glass and stirred it up?
Yeah, well, thanks for that question, and thanks to the audience for joining us for this this thing tonight. This is one of those ideas that actually like burst into my head like a light bulb. Dave, my husband Dave, who's also Balthazar and also directed this reading, yay Dave, and I went to see a production of Romeo et Juliet at the Metropolitan Opera, where before the pandemic, that was my like main bread and butter job, was acting in operas at the Met. And so I think we got comps and we went to see this show, and in the opera, the way that it was staged, Romeo at the end came into the tomb and found Juliet and drank his poison and died. And then Juliet woke up and found Romeo dead and stabbed herself and died. And then they both got up and sang this beautiful aria together and then like died again. And it was, ridiculous and sublime and stuck with me. And we were walking back to the subway at 59th Street, and I stopped. We're walking along, about to turn onto Broadway at 63rd, and I was joking with Dave, and I was like, well, I mean, what are they supposed to be, undead? And I stopped in my tracks, actually, and said, oh my God, I have to write a play called Romeo and Juliet and Zombies. And in that moment, it was just like this sort of goofy, clever idea. But then the next day, I went back and reread Romeo and Juliet, and I know that play quite well. Like I'd been in it, and I knew it. But when I read it with this idea in mind, I was so stunned by how much it was playing right into this like zombie idea. Orange Z has text from Act 5 of Romeo and Juliet, including, Romeo threatening Balthazar to get rid of him so that he will leave him alone so he can be alone in the tomb and kill him there. He says, "By heavens, I will tear thee joint by joint and strew this hungry churchyard with thy limbs." And like all this like visceral, gory language in Shakespeare's original. And it turns out that he wrote Romeo and Juliet during the 2 years that London's theaters were all closed because of the plague. So it starts to make sense. And then the other giant plot element, which was such an exciting discovery for me, was the Searchers of the Town. So the Searchers are mentioned in Act 5 of the Shakespeare, and I'm still just, it staggers me that that this isn't a more known part of our history. Searchers, it was a municipal job. It was present in towns all over Europe from the early Middle Ages to Shakespeare's time. Traditionally held by two grown women, which is a complete anomaly. No, this was a time when women had been relegated to the home and jobs were for men. So that's very, very strange. The Searchers lived apart in a little house on the edge of town. If they had family and friends, they sort of swore off communication. They didn't speak much in public, but you would recognize them because they walked around carrying these 2-foot white wands. And their entire job description was that they examined every dead body to determine if it had died of plague or not. So I read that and I was like, well, these two figures become major characters in my play now. I very much think if Shakespeare had been writing at a time when he had women on his, like, how could he have resisted writing those roles? So anyway, that's where the idea was born. And I pitched it to Judith and she was like, let's do it. Unbelievable. Like that sovereign yes of the Opera House. It was such a gift. And, we developed it through residency time at OHA, and the whole story from now to then includes, I would say, what strange times we live in right now, what hard times, where we actually have a pandemic of our own, and we actually are dealing with the idea of being shut in a place, of quarantine, of like the reality of that, the reality of the creeping sickness in the populace, like it's a very different moment to come back to this text. It feels very, very rich to me. Of course, it is also it fills me with feels to reconnect through this box with this incredible ensemble of people who, I love these people. I'm so grateful to them. And most of them I haven't seen in over a year, like in person. It's crazy. But yeah, it feels like a good time for a play about the end of the world.
Indeed. And just like another round of applause for our audience, for our actors who brought all this back to us and in a new form, in a new way. And one of the questions from the audience coming from Ron, we have 4 members of the audience with questions who have been promoted to panelists. If you guys, Lily, Amy, Doug, and Ron, if you want to turn your cameras on to ask your questions so you can really be in conversation, that would be great. We can start with any one of your fabulous questions. Gloria is saying that the plague parallels for right now are so amazing. And indeed, the sense of chaos and the talking about chaos, I think, were very more relevant now, perhaps even than in 2014, although we do live in chaos so much of the time. But I see that Lily's popped in here now and she's got a question for you. So Lily, you're on.
Hi, it was such a joy to see all of your faces tonight. I know like most of this cast from different parts of my life, but mostly from OHA. And so first of all, just bravo and congratulations, and what a joy and what a gift it was to spend this time with you. So first question is, because I have two, sorry. The first part is this the first time that you guys have reunited since the original production of this show? And then the second question is for Melody. I wanted to know about the publishing process, and if you have any plans for other plays being published, and how we can, and when and how we can purchase, like Avalon, for instance, which I loved from right before the COVID. That was like the last summer before COVID. So yeah, those are my two questions.
Thanks, Lillian. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us tonight and being part of this. Melody, do you want to give some responses there?
I mean, the last time we did, so in 2015, after the wonderful success of the world premiere in the summer of 2014 at OHA, J. Stephen Brantley's company Hard Sparks bravely was like, yeah, we'll produce it. Let's do a show with 19 actors. Is dumb, but great. Like, why not? Let's figure out how to do that, because actors need jobs too. I don't know. I feel like we've
5 years.
Yeah, Ren, it's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah.
I miss you.
Yeah. 5 years.
Yeah. In terms of publishing, so, you know, I started submitting this play to publishers like right after we premiered it, and it's a quiet process. J. Stephen is also a brilliant playwright. He was a real mentor to me in this process, and he gave me a lot of help as we went along. And I would say that I don't even remember. I don't know how many different publishers I sent it to, and I got nibbles, as they say. But this Original Works Publishing, which is a wonderful, feisty imprint, I think it took them about 12 months to respond to my submission. But then out of the blue, I heard from them, and they were like, this is just the kind of work we want to champion. So that was super exciting. And then, you know, going back into the text and finding, you know, typographical errors that had been in my script all along, and proofing galleys and all of that, and then approving cover art. And it was cool, man. I'd like to do more of it.
Thank you, Melody, and thank you for that question, Lillian. We've got Ron here, who has a big world question for our Zoom world this evening. Mr. Stiegel.
Yeah, I know the play is the thing, but I'm also looking at this as an extraordinary event in theater history. So I'm wondering if any of you have had some thoughts. This may be the first time you've Zoomed a performance across the nation, but have you given some thought to what COVID and the times we're living in and the technologies that have developed, what are the possibilities for performing arts in 2022, given the technologies, the imperatives, the discoveries, the challenges? What have you thought about speculating on what changes will occur in the performing arts in 2022 or 2025, or wherever you want to go with that?
why don't we open this one up to more cast members, not put it all on Melody. So Dave, as the director, perhaps you have some thoughts about that?
Yeah. Hey, Ron, how you doing? Nice to see you. Yeah, so this was a really interesting process for me as a director because Zoom, I think, I should look up the history of Zoom, but it seems like it was a program created for like work meetings, right? Like video conferencing. And it in no way was built for theater. So there are so many little roadblocks for us, like you can't control where the boxes are on the screen, right? So as a director, I would want one character to look at another character and that character to look at that character. But on some people's screens, those boxes are flipped. So we don't have control over that yet. So as I looked at this form, it really struck me that this form is the perfect marriage between film and live theater. It's not, you know, it's not film where it's recorded and then you can go back and edit it, but we do have these screens, right, that we can really play with. We can play with where we are in the frame. We can play with intimacy. Zoom really is an intimate medium. You can get closer, and that communicates something. Further back means something. And then of course all the little tricks we tried tonight. You know, we will learn as actors and as directors, and you know, we will learn how to use this more. I think this is the first time I've ever seen anything like this, like what we did tonight. The tough part about it is that we are asking actors to be makeup artists, lighting designers, set designers, and run their own camera all at once. So, you know, that's taking out a lot of jobs and a lot of things that other people used to do. Thankfully, we were able to get Stephanie on this project to even be a consultant. But the future of theater, if the future of theater really is Zoom, you know, the technology is going to have to catch up to us because we're ready. Like we want to put on shows and we want to use this to the best of our ability. You know, I think that nothing will ever replace a live theater. Nothing will ever replace sitting in a dark theater with other people and experiencing something live in front of you on stage. And so, you know, even if we have to have a house of 10 people for, you know, social distancing, you know, that is going to happen. So that will stay. Zoom will be around. But I think something new is going to, my guess is that some new technology built for theater will come out of this, in which is easier for us to use and gives us more of what we want. The great thing about it, I'll shut up soon, but I just want to point out how many actors we have here and where they're all calling it, you know, zooming in from. So the great thing about this, Ron, is that, you know, we have Matt and Melody in New York, we got California, we have Washington, we have Nevada, we have Colorado, we have Massachusetts, we have, where are you, Ren? Indiana? One of those Midwest, yeah, Indiana. So we were able to bring this cast together, our dream cast, because everyone could join Zoom. If this was a play, you know, you'd have to deal with travel and housing and all that. And so not only that, but then the audience, you know, can also call in from everywhere, or tune in from everywhere. So long answer to a really good question. The shortened version, I think it's going to be a mix. I think we'll start to open up theaters again. I think we'll have to use social distancing and safety and mask. And the actors will really have to be taken care of. We know how small the dressing room is at OHA. Like, you know, there are logistical problems, but that will never go away. This will also never go away. And, you know, we are going to have to learn how to use it. And it's going to be a lot of film tricks, a lot of TV tricks, and a lot of theater tricks all into one. And hopefully, you know, it'll be the beautiful marriage that I actually think it is.
Thank you, Dave. It's totally is bringing these disciplines together. So much of what we're doing these days is like TV. The unions are obviously all crossed up and trying to figure out who's doing what because it's film? Is it acting? Is it whatever? I do want to let people know, which I meant to do at the top of the show, that because the numbers are so good here in Maine, and because Opera House Arts operates at a scale that is smaller than many of our large spaces, that we did just pass a plan for reopening in the winter, so that we will be doing very small audience, safely distanced play readings and movies for the winter, which our communities have really wanted. And I think that that's part of what we're seeing too, is the smaller scale of things, because you have to have a smaller scale right now in order to make some of these things successful. We can't bring 2,000 people together in the same room, but we can bring 50 people into a room again. So there we go.
Or outdoors like Avalon.
Well, and outdoors. And so we are planning for next summer to be totally outdoors here in Stonington. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw a couple of hands up there from actors. Do you guys somebody else want to jump in there? Yeah, go for it, Maria.
Thanks everyone for coming. And I just wanted to say, I didn't tell the cast this before, but it was so much fun because we're called before the show started. This like weird mix of film and theater, but I like put my makeup on while we were preparing, and that's what I would do in a show in real theater with people there. So like, even though we're not together, that vibe of like pre-show jitters and fun was still there. And it's amazing what this medium can do despite all its faults and everything it's lacking. It's also so incredible. And I feel so lucky to be able to do it with these people and have everyone watch us.
It's so great that it can bring us together like this from all over the place. And also a really important thing for thinking about here in Stonington is the access, like as you just noted, Dave, the access it provides for audiences to this work in a different way. So, you know, we're all going to work on live streaming even when we bring people back together in a place together, right? Because we can expand that access of the art to many more people that ordinarily might not be able to make it into the theater itself. We've got a couple of other folks here that had questions. Carolyn Schreiber is with us. She came in with a question.
Hi, Caroline. Hi, Melody. Melody's brilliant career goes back at least 40 years, at least since 1980. I was a cast member in many of her productions in the 80s. So. But I wanted to know just in general how you all are doing during the pandemic, because it's so hard, and I'm in a stable industry and it must be really scary and hard for you all to have your livelihoods taken away. And how can the rest of us help you?
Thank you, Caroline. Marcy.
I said we're all available for hire. No, it's tough. It's tough because it's not, you know, when I was in school studying acting before I was a stage manager, I planned a backup idea in case work was slow. Nobody ever told me to prepare for the death of the industry. And I don't think the industry is dead. We're seeing evidence that it is coming back, but I am a person with a lot of transferable skills. I can manage anything. I've had to learn a lot of these new technologies. I've learned Zoom and StreamYard and OBS and all these things that make these sorts of things happen. And actors have transferable skills too, but out here in Las Vegas, I do a lot of work with Cirque du Soleil, and I'm not seeing a lot of jobs on Indeed for contortionists. Those are the people that I feel are really suffering, and the musicians and people who have been training for something their entire lives. It's not as easy to pivot and figure it out. So I don't know, we're all here and doing this amazing thing. I think we are some of the lucky ones. But, you know, we could put 10,000 links in the chat about places you can donate to help people like us out. Go to the Actors Fund and help out small theaters like OHA and others that are struggling, because until we really get this under control, it's not going to ever be what it was.
Yeah. And as Jay Stephen noted, wear masks. Like, some of the biggest things you can do to help us all is to wear masks and to take care of each other so that we stop the spread. Go ahead, Melody.
Yeah. Also, Caroline, hi. I love you. Hi. It's so good to see you. Caroline is a doctor. So thanks for that too. And what I wanted to say is I think there is a revolution of the mind that will help in this moment, which is to think about the ways that the arts are also essential and frame the way you talk about them around that idea. You know, like I imagine that you as a doctor sometimes come home from a stressful day and want to listen to music or watch a show or go to the movies or, you know, do something that may feel like it's just an activity, but actually you are being nourished by the arts. And all of us are nourished by the arts. It is not frosting, it is not extra, it is not an extra vowel in STEAM, it's essential human nourishment that we all need. There's a reason that the arts have been around as far back as you can look at human existence, right? Like we live in a cultural moment when people really, really want to step on, I mean, we live in a moment when there are people who are really trying to make it a ladder and to figure out who's above them and who's below them. But actually that's not what humans are. Humans are a partnership, and in that partnership, all that we have is actually essential, right? So I think a way to help is to think about how the arts and artists are every bit as valuable to our human existence and survival as other totally valuable roles in society. Like we're here for each other, and I genuinely feel like that reframing in your own mind and in how you talk about the arts to others is a real act. It is an act that has that helps to change the world.
I'm so thrilled to say that the Opera House's Community Advisory Board has said exactly that to the Opera House, Melody. So thank you for amplifying that the arts are essential to our healing. They're essential to our humanity. They're essential to us coming together. And yeah, we just need to shout this from the rooftops, right? Let's get that. Can I hear a hallelujah? Hallelujah!
Hallelujah!
Right? Hallelujah. I see that we've got actually Julia Whitworth with us here tonight too. So co-founder of Shakespeare in Stonington, which turned 20 this year. We're still in the 20th anniversary season of Shakespeare in Stonington with this reading tonight. Julia, do you have a question or a comment that you wanted to make? You can turn your camera on and be with us if you'd like. Or maybe she's not with us anymore.
I'm promoting her. She's coming. Transition.
Here we are.
Hi, friends.
Hey.
Oh my gosh. I was literally like letting my dog in and all of a sudden I heard my name. So I'm not entirely sure what you asked me, Linda.
I just said that we're at the very end of the 20th anniversary season of Shakespeare in Stonington, of which you're a co-founder. And I saw that you were present with us here on the Zoom stage. And I wondered if you had any comments or questions that you wanted to.
Well, first of all, just thank you all. This was an extraordinary experience. My family was actually, we were listening to you in our car because we were en route someplace. And this also works as an amazing radio play, Melody, Jeffrey, all of you. I mean, you had a family of 5 totally tracking. And then we watched you. And then, you know, something I was thinking just, I really valued hearing Dave talk about this sort of marriage of media, that we're now in our sort of process of learning new ways of making art. And it feels like an incredible moment of deprivation that we're enduring, and from that also all sorts of creativity. And so thank you for just making that clear. I also just want to say I've been thinking about 20 years of Shakespeare in Stonington, or 22 years of Opera House arts, and I'm realizing generations of kids who have started to learn about the vitality and necessity of the arts and be inspired by you, Melody, and all of you. And in the midst of this, my own child ran upstairs, got out all my makeup, and made herself a zombie. So may I show you?
Yes! Yes!
Oh my,
Oh my God, the greatest tribute imaginable.
So just know you're like changing lives, even over Zoom, and making more creepy theater kids right now. So thank you for that. And thank you, Opera House Arts, because it's so many kids, not just mine.
Great to see your kids. Great to see Ray in the background there. Great to see your little zombie. Thank you guys for that. Doug, I know you didn't want to come on camera, but did you have a question you wanted to ask? Doug Bates, uncle to Melody, I believe.
Oh my gosh, a very early and amazing reader of the early script.
Anything you'd like to add to the discussion, Doug? I see that you're present here.
Doug's
You
question.
unmute yourself.
Shy, but Doug's question was, have the film rights been optioned yet?
No, who wants them? I am available to negotiate.
Does anybody have the film rights yet?
Doug is not on camera, so I'm just going to out him. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner, just so you know that there's a Pulitzer winner in the audience.
And our host for this evening, Jeffrey Frosse, is saying good night to us. Good night, Jeffrey. Good night in Seattle. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Anything else? The actors, other actors, anything, Matt, anything you want to add? Tristan, Ren, thoughts as we go off into our next Zoom lives or our unZoom lives? There's the undead and the unzoomed, right?
Piggyback on what Melody was saying, that I was a part of a group this summer who were kind of testing this out. We were reading some Shakespeare and stuff, and I realized this was how I was maintaining my sanity, really, feeding my soul just to connect with. And I was introduced to this group through somebody else, and so for all intents and purposes they're strangers, but our common love for the bard and just to let the words just sing, and we're zooming in and out, we're just playing around. But even in that just kind of rough rudimentary thing, I realized, we're telling stories, and we're all getting back to doing in some form or fashion what we so love and yearn to do. And I'm so thankful that I'm able to do it. And then finally be able to do it with folks I know, is great. So that's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Ren. Thank you very much. Actually, our original costume designer for the show, Kate Mincer, has joined us too. Kate, did you want to come on camera, take a bow, put your mic on?
Yeah. Hi. I just wanted to see you all and tell you this was so great, and it was so much fun just being in the room with you again and getting the energy from the show and watching you guys rock it out. It was awesome. And like, this is also part of the arts. Like I'm doing a Zoom musical with some middle schoolers, and just being in the Zoom room is like a healing thing by itself, even though being on Zoom is so tiring. But this gave me so much energy, and you guys did so well. And I just wanted to see your faces to tell you that. Congrats, Melody, on the official publication. And here is my question. Since during these crazy times, I've been playing hours of video games and like doing all the escaping, I feel like this could have legs as a graphic novel, as a video game, as an RPG. Like, would you ever, is that something you ever would consider? Because I would play this.
My answer to your question is yes.
It has many lives to come, apparently. R&J and Z does. Back to our actors, just for any final words from anybody? Kate.
I just wanted to plug the play on Amazon. If you enjoyed it, you should write a good review for it and give it all of the stars. I'm a big fan. I love this play. I was in the Maine one and the New York one, and I'm just obsessed with all of you, and especially Melody, and especially this play. That's all.
And our fabulous stage manager, Marcy, has dropped the link into the chat where you can buy your own copy of the play if you were not one of our lucky winners tonight. Margie, I had one last question for you. I wanted to, because the searchers are so important, you and Kate, as Melody said, to this plot. So just leave us with some words about what it was like to be in those roles, those really reimagined roles tonight.
I mean, kind of echoing what everybody's saying, this is like one of my all-time favorite plays and performances I've been involved in. And getting to do this on Zoom is just fantastic. You know, we all need each other and we need this play. And, you know, I wasn't able to do the production in Maine, but I jumped in at the New York production. And I love these searchers. And, you know, I feel like every time we like opened up a scene for the searchers, there was so much going on, and we were just, you know, combing into history, right? Like, who were these? I've never heard of these women, you know? And I would tell people, oh, I'm playing the searcher in, you know, Romeo and Juliet. Who's that? Well, you know, there's one little mention of them. And people that know the play well still, I don't know who the searcher is. So then you'd go into this history, and it's just so fantastic. And I think what Melody, who's so brilliant, does so well with the searchers is that they go back and forth between, you know, being these kind of like almost like comic book heroines, badasses, and then you flip it around and it's so dark and so mysterious and so interesting. And I mean, for me, the first searcher with her kind of turn to the dark was so mixed and so nuanced in the way she wrote it, and the songs really just gave me so much to plunge into. So there's just nothing is surface, nothing is like what you'd think it would be. And I just love it. I just eat it up. I don't get to eat flesh in this, but I eat a lot of words and fantastic writing. So yeah, I'm searching for that the rest of my life. Boom.
Linda, I just want to give a shout out to OHA. We have to. I grew up on one of those islands out there on Vinyl Haven, and the fact that a small theater from a small island off the coast of Maine can bring these artists together and foster playwrights like Melody is absolutely amazing. I will speak for Melody as a couple. We will work with these people for the rest of our lives. And you have brought us together, most of us together. And so everything that the Opera House is doing, both for your community, but for theater at large, is invaluable. And you, please know that you are such an important part to the artistic community. And, you know, none of us would be here without OHA, so.
Wow. Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I hope we still have a few board members in the dwindling attendee list here to hear that as well and to take that in as well. Judith Jerome, do you want to come and say goodnight? She's sitting here with us. She's here too. I think we are wearing our attendees out as much as we all like to stay together. You all are welcome to stay on the Zoom and party, have a little after party if you'd like. But I think for the public, we're going to have to say goodnight now. And geez, it is really hard to let you all go. Here comes Judith.
I just want to do a dance party with Marcy.
Yeah, where's our dance party, Marcy?
Oh my God, you're right. We didn't do it. That was our pre-show tradition. 15 minutes till we opened the house, we would dance on stage.
That's right.
Hey, I just would like to add a final word here. I'm Melody's crazy uncle in the mountains of Oakland, Oregon. I didn't get on the video because I haven't had a haircut or a bath since February. And I'm not going to until there's a cure for the COVID or a new administration in Washington, whichever comes first. But I just want to say, I loved this performance tonight. It lifted me at a time when I needed to lift. Thank you all. Melody, God bless you. I saw Melody perform as a little girl in a play she wrote up at Odell Lake, not far from where I live. She put all of her cousins to work as actors in her play, but I knew then that this little girl was going to do something great someday. Melody, you have. Thank you, and I love you. Good night.
Oh, can't say anything better than that. Thank you all for lifting us up. Thank you all for bringing the art to us and making us whole. Thank you for being you. We're all family. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you to the audience for coming.
Thank
Good
you
night,
all.
everybody.